If you're dreaming of a fresh start in the provinces of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland and Labrador, then look no further because we've uncovered a great opportunity that could change your life forever. We will be introducing another ongoing immigration program in Canada. This is a golden ticket to a direct pathway to Canadian permanent residence for you and your family. So, in this video, we've compiled a comprehensive list of dynamic employers in these 4 provinces that are seeking foreign talent to join their communities. These employers are opening their doors to individuals like you by offering job opportunities across a range of industries. This immigration program not only fast-tracks your path to permanent residency, but also ensures support throughout your journey. You will also have access to expert guidance, personalized settlement plans, and seamless integration into your new community. But before we continue, if you're seeing this smiling face for the first time, you are welcome. My name is Ammy. I talk about relocation and studying abroad. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit the subscribe button below and ensure that your bell notification is turned on so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Please don't forget to give this video a massive thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend it to others. It is a great way of supporting my channel. Share my videos with your friends and your loved ones and keep watching.
Hello guys, you're welcome to Immigrate with Ammy. We are still talking about Canada immigration today, okay? And I think, for a long time into the future, Canada immigration will still be very, very relevant. One of the reasons why I am saying this is because I think Canada is like the #1 country that has a lot of bandwidth to accommodate immigrants. So for many years to come, Canada immigration will be a very, very viable program. And if you have not been thinking about immigrating to Canada as a permanent resident, I think you should start thinking about that at this moment, because there are a lot of opportunities and the opportunities keeps increasing almost on a monthly basis now. The government is rolling out new programs and opening up new opportunities for people to be able to immigrate to the different provinces in Canada. In our own way, we're also trying to provide some form of support to you guys and to those who are interested, first by always sharing this information with you. So today we want to talk about one of the immigration programs that is currently happening in 4 provinces in Canada. Okay, it's called the Atlantic Immigration Program. So I'm going to be telling you all about it. Okay, now before now it used to be a pilot program, but now the government has decided to make it a permanent immigration pathway, so people will continue to utilize this pathway in becoming Canadian permanent resident. So basically, what does it mean? Okay, so this is actually a permanent residency pathway for skilled foreign workers and international graduates who want to work and live in one of Canada's 4 Atlantic provinces. So it got its name from those 4 Atlantic provinces. So there are 4 provinces in Canada that are called the Atlantic provinces. So we have New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. This program is actually taking place in these 4 provinces. The purpose of the program mainly is to help employers in those 4 Atlantic provinces hire qualified candidates for jobs they haven't been able to fill locally. So you would see that there are so many immigration pathways that are actually based on filling up jobs for which employers have been able to find people locally within Canada. That tells you the opportunities that are available in Canada. The opportunities for jobs, the opportunity for immigration is always there, and you can utilize that opportunity to immigrate as a permanent resident. Let's talk more about this Atlantic Immigration Program. You can see the map of Canada right here showing you the location of those 4 Atlantic provinces. This is actually an employer-driven program, meaning that if you will be accepted into this program, it depends on what the employers are looking for. It depends on the needs of the employer. So if the employer needs someone with your profile, they can actually hire you under this program, and through that employment you can become a Canadian permanent resident. The steps to apply for this program is in 2 ways. The first one has to do with endorsement of the candidate, and then the second one is the actual immigration application. Before you can go to the process of going through the immigration application, you would need to get a job offer from one of the designated employers in one of those 4 provinces. I will also show you guys the link to the portals of these 4 provinces so that you can actually explore more and then apply to any of these designated employers in those provinces. Basically, once you get a job from one of the designated employers, they will connect you with settlement services to get a settlement plan, and then you send your settlement plan to your designated employer. They will send an application for endorsement to the department. You would receive a provincial endorsement certificate, and then in addition to that, okay, you can also receive a work permit support letter, okay, if a work permit is required in this case. So once you have gone through the process of endorsement, then the next process will be the actual application for the permanent residency, which means taking all those documents and the other required document and then approaching IRCC for them to review your application and approve your permanent residence. Okay, so this basically covers the process of applying under the Atlantic Immigration Program. What is the eligibility? What are the general eligibility under this Atlantic Immigration Program? The first is that you must have the qualifying work experience. So usually the minimum requirement for Canada immigration is for any job you want to apply for, or if you are planning to immigrate under any job category, you must have had at least 1 year full-time experience in that job, and you should be able to provide a proof through a reference letter from your previous employer. The second thing is that you must meet or exceed the educational requirement. Apart from the job offer, you need to also have the required educational requirement. So depending on the NOC code of the job offer, if you have a job offer in the NOC 2021 tier 0 or 1 category, so if your job category is under the tier 0 or tier 1, you would need to have at least a 1 year post-secondary educational credential or higher. So if your job category, if you have a job offer, okay, in a job category that is under the tier 0 or tier 1 category, you must have a Canadian 1 year post-secondary educational credential or higher, or the equivalent from outside Canada. Okay, so you need more than a secondary school. You must have at least 1 year post-secondary school credential evaluation assessment. Second thing is that if you have a job offer under the tier 2, 3 or 4 category, okay, then what is required of you is to have at least a secondary school certificate, basically, or its equivalent. Okay, so those are the educational requirements. So the educational requirement that you will have to show proof of depends on the job offer that you have. So if your job offer is in tier 0 or 1, you would need a higher level of educational credential. But if it's in the tier 2, 3 or 4, what you would need is actually the high school certificate. And of course, as you know, if you studied outside Canada, you would need an educational credential assessment done. Okay, you can request that from West. When it comes to the language requirement, it's also mandatory under any of the immigration programs in Canada. You would need to show your language proficiency. So for this Atlantic Immigration Program, you would need a language benchmark of a particular level. Also, depending on the job category. So if the job offer that you have is in the tier 0, 1, 2 or 3, then you would need a Canadian language benchmark level of 5. But if the job offer is in the tier 4, okay, then you would only need to show a Canadian language benchmark level of 4, okay, which is actually lower. You would also need to show that you have the required settlement fund depending on your family size. Okay, so let's take a look at how much money you would need to show proof of if you are immigrating under this immigration pathway. Okay, you can see here is actually one of the lowest proof of fund that you would need. So if you're a single person, you only need to show proof of 3,439 Canadian dollars. If you have a spouse or maybe it's a single person with a child, with one child, then it's 4,281. So you can see that amount based on your family size, okay? And it's actually one of the minimum proof of funds for Canada immigration compared to other programs as well. So basically, since this is tied to a job offer in one of these 4 Atlantic provinces, the next thing that you would want to actually focus on is how you can get a job from one of the designated employers. So it is not all employers in these provinces that are designated and can offer you a job that you can use for immigration under the Atlantic Immigration Program. There is a list of designated employers for each of these provinces, and when you are looking for a job, you should focus your job on those designated employers. Let's imagine that an employer is not designated and is willing to actually offer you a job in any of these provinces. What you can do is to ask the employer to apply for a designation. Okay, so that is also possible. So if an employer wants to offer you a job and you find out, or maybe after speaking with the employer, you find out that the employer is not designated, then you can request the employer to actually go through the process of designation, which is very, very fast in those provinces. I will be showing you the links to all of these 4 provinces, okay, where you can find more information about the Atlantic Immigration Program and the list of designated employers. Okay, so I've opened the 4 links here. You can see this is for New Brunswick. This one is for Newfoundland and Labrador. This is for Nova Scotia. And this is for Prince Edward Island. Okay, I will drop all of the links in the video description so that you can also explore those links yourself. Okay, so let's start with at this New Brunswick. Okay, so this is their own platform where you can find information about the different immigration pathways, but in this case we're interested in the Atlantic immigration. What is important for you here is to check the list of designated employers. Okay, so if I open that, you will actually see a very long list. So this is a 12-page PDF document with a very long list of all the employers that are designated in the province of New Brunswick. And then, you know, the list goes on and on. It's a very long list. Okay, so if you get a job offer with any of these employers, they are already designated in the province of New Brunswick, and you can actually immigrate under the Atlantic Immigration Program. You can immigrate if you get a job offer from any of these designated employers. So when you are applying for job in the province of New Brunswick, for example, make sure you also check the employer in this case and check it against this list to be sure that that employer is already designated. If by chance the employer is not designated, you can make an arrangement with the employer for the employer to actually go through the process of being designated. And then for New Brunswick, as you can see, it's a very long list. This is the portal for Newfoundland and Labrador. This is for Nova Scotia. This is for Prince Edward Island. So you would need to check all of this platform to find out which of the employers are designated, and then start looking for jobs with, you know, these employers that are currently designated. Okay, we'll be doing some videos about the top 10 job sectors, okay, in these 4 provinces later on. Okay, so we'll be doing that video, and it will actually help you to understand which job categories are highly in demand in these provinces, and you can focus your search for jobs in those particular job areas for each of the provinces. So guys, thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. Of course, make sure you do your own independent research. All right, we like to, you know, share information with you, but we can't be exhaustive as much as possible. All right, it's always, you know, advised for you guys to go through the process of checking out the information that we drop in the video description. The links that we put there are links from either the federal government of Canada or the provincial government, so you can trust those information there. Okay, and if you want to apply for a job or you want to find out more information about this immigration pathway, you can consult those links that are in the video description. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching. Have a lovely day.